Okay, here's another exemplar of the friction lab. Again, the front page has been taken off because the students' names were on it. So here we go. We've got purpose, we've got materials. One of the notes that I had written down is people tend to put 1 kilogram. That's actually only 1 sig dig. It's probably 1.00, if not there might even be another 0 on there. Those are standard masses built by a company, so it's not just 1 sig dig. Refer to the stapled sheet, that's fine. Let's scroll down and have a look. So this person has made, and I apologize for the scan, didn't come out that clear. This person has made their graph much larger. It's very easy to see these numbers. That's probably a little bit of a better way to go. And they have explained what the above graph is. Quite a bit of space here, which is not that fantastic. Okay, here we go. You can see they've got quite a big tab at the top, or quite a big margin at the top and the sides. They could probably do a little bit better of squeezing in more than one graph. The graphs are all set up the same. You've got the big graph, you've got an explanation underneath it, but then again you've got that big space. So try to eliminate stuff like that. There's the next graph. Let's just go through them all. They're all set up identical. And we get down to calculations. So they've shown what it is that they've done to get the average. Here's the data that you've taken from the lab sheet and retyped out. Nicely laid out, very easy to see. And the second chart, then they've shown how they've calculated the force of gravity acting on the block. So they've shown a little calculation, they've got it in a box there. This person has decided to do a computer drawn free body diagram. And again, I mentioned in the first video that it's probably quicker in the long run to do it because you can just simply copy and paste. You can see by the layout it looks a little bit different than the first one. I'm not really super happy about the way they've made these arrows. That's not normally the way a free body diagram arrow looks like. It's just simply a straight line with the arrow tip on it. That's about the only problem I've got with that. But they've got it all labeled. Here's the calculation showing your static friction, and they've got equation, values with units, finally your answer to sig digs, and then they show you the mu k. And then they have a little therefore statement, which is nice. And they're showing the two coefficients. So this is the way this student has set it up. And essentially, they've cut and pasted for the rest of the lab. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure that if you're cutting and pasting, that you are, in fact, putting the correct numbers in. So there's the first setup. Here's the next setup. Now, obviously, if you're using a 2 kilogram mass, that will affect your overall mass, which affects your force gravity and your force normal. So if you're cutting and pasting, be very sure that you have the correct numbers in there. And this is the way they're doing it. They've got the free body diagram, they've got the calculation running down the left-hand side of the page, which is fine. Little therefore statement, a little bit of a space there, not a big deal. And they continue on with all of the calculations and diagrams. Okay, so it takes up a few pages, which there's nothing wrong with that. And they have now put in the chart. Here's all of our friction values. Friction values are running horizontal. Then right underneath it are the coefficients of static friction. There's your kinetic friction, and then your coefficients of kinetic. I think I like the chart from the first lab a little bit better. Then they go through and they have their questions answered. I'm not going to spend time on that. And they have their conclusion. They have stapled their lab sheet to it, which is good. They have not stapled their rough work. So both of these labs have some positive points to them. They are slightly different, but all in all, I'd say that probably they achieved about the same mark.